Okay, this is a non-specific, this is a non-question video. I'm just gonna say some shit that I think needs to be said. And the thing is guys, I'm getting a lot of questions, or I do get a lot of questions, and it's come up a couple of times recently in the groups, like how do I approach women, right? How do I get like a younger woman, or how do I get this approach online or whatever? And the thing is man, it's like the problem is you're giving too much of a fuck. Like it doesn't matter if she rejects you. That doesn't say anything about you. It just says something about her. And really, she did you a favor, because if she rejects you, then that means that she's honoring the fact that there's no attraction there, and that's fine. But the thing is if you're taking on your value based on what a woman says of you, and that's a really dangerous position to be in. When you put yourself in that position, then you've put all your value and everything about yourself over in the basket of somebody else. And when you give it to somebody else, you can't control what they do with it. And so whenever she says no, then you're like, oh, I feel like shit, man. It just happened again, man. There's no women like me. It's never going to happen for me. And then the negative self-talk happens. And again, the negative mental masturbation goes on, and you're sit there in your thoughts, and you have to you got to stop playing in that realm. A woman saying no is not that big a deal. It doesn't matter at all. It has no bearing on your life. You feel like it will, like, oh, I'm going to do it, then I'm going to be embarrassed. But what really happens from embarrassment anyway? The people around you are like, huh, well, that was funny. And then they forget it 2 seconds later, but you're sitting there in this space for the rest of your fucking life. And now you cripple yourself. It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter whatever. You just go over there. You do your thing. You say, hey, you're interesting, whatever. Say whatever you want. Doesn't matter. And then whatever happens, happens. But the problem is guys get all locked down because they have this image of how it's going to be in their head. And so they work off of this worst case scenario image, and they don't have an adequate data set, a baseline from which they can derive how this situation is going to go, right? So if you have so many data points, then you can extrapolate how it could possibly go. But if you have enough data points, then there is no extrapolation. It's all interpolation. And as you know, if you've done any kind of statistical analysis, interpolation is way more accurate than extrapolation. So if you're going over there and you're talking to this woman, it didn't go well, and you felt weird and nervous, and you're like, oh, okay, these things happened, and I didn't like the way that went, and I said something boneheaded there. Great, now you have feedback. Not only that, but she gave you some feedback. You have feedback for yourself, and you got some feedback from her. Now you're like, okay, now you're starting to establish a baseline. How attractive am I in the real world? And you go out there, you talk to a few women, you start working on your conversational skills a little bit. Maybe you do speed dating, like I highly recommend. You go do Toastmasters, you go do dance lessons, you go do voice lessons, and things to get you out of your shell so that you're not just all crammed in with your thoughts. You get expressing yourself out in the world unapologetically. Then when you go and you talk to these women, you'll get a baseline. Okay, well, I think I see where I'm at. Then you go look at yourself in the mirror. Is my dress okay? You don't have to be like super stylish like our man Ty Kuttner, but you have to just at least look like you're put together. Do you have to have the fanciest haircut? Fuck no. Just look like you're groomed. Nope. I mean, it's not that big a deal. Women aren't that concerned about it. Even those type of things are mostly feminine energy anyway. She wants to just know that you've got your life handled and that you love yourself and that you take care of yourself. Do you need to have the perfectly clean apartment and all the stylized furnishings and stuff so that when she comes over, she's like, wow. No. If you do it too much, she's going to be intimidated, right? Like, his house looks nicer than mine. Is this man even straight? I don't know. And it doesn't have to be. She just wants to come over and see that you're put together. Like you just got your shit together and your life handled. That's all she wants. She wants to feel like she's with a mature, grown-ass man. She doesn't want to feel like a man-child. Like a man-child is somebody who can't do things. They can't manage their finances. They can't eat right. They can't keep their house clean. You know, these basic fundamental adulthood things, they just need to be addressed, and she needs to see that. And then have an emotional maturity, being able to handle your emotions when things happen and you're not getting all butthurt or pissed off and that kind of stuff. And if you're not meditating, meditate, because that's going to help you figure this stuff out. And you won't put so much of your bearing as self-worth on what somebody else thinks. So when you go and you talk to her and she rejects you, after you have a certain number of data points and you kind of get some success, you kind of understand what women are like and what women like about you, then when you go talk to a woman and she's all like, bah, and you're like, well, that was kind of interesting. That kind of fell outside of my data set, and I know that is an outlier. She's just acting like a weirdo. She's got something going on in her life or whatever. And in the coaching program, There's a very simple framework that we go through so that you're only approaching women that you're 80% sure are going to say yes and give you the number and actually show up on the date. And there is a way you can do that, you know. But the first part is you just have to not give a rip. You got to just be like, it's all right. It's okay. It's okay for her to say no. It's fine. You want her to say no. You don't want her to say yes, even if she's not interested in you, because that's a bad thing. Then now you're going to have problems. And just because she says no doesn't mean anything about your value as a man. It's just maybe you're a little disappointed because you wanted something to go further and you thought she was attractive. That's great. Fine. But then you take steps to further your ability, and you do a lot more emotional releasing. You talk to more people. You get more out of your shell, and you push yourself just a little bit harder every day. So the whole trick is that your ability to stretch yourself and push yourself past your fears is a result of doing more, stretching yourself past your fears the day before, and you'll gain momentum. It takes time and it takes practice to stretch past your fears and to move forward. And you don't have to go really far. You just have to push yourself a little bit. You know, maybe you smile at the woman as she walks by. Maybe you just make eye contact until she looks away. And then that next time, maybe you smile. And then the next time you say, good morning. And the next day you say, good morning, how are you? And you just stretch it a little bit every day until you get more and more comfortable just being unapologetically yourself. And then at some point you're going to be like, hey, how you doing? And you're going to have this conversation with her. Or you're just going to comment on something as she passes by. And it breaks her out of her trance of just walking down the street. She's like, hey, nice shoes. What? She was not going to expect that, because people don't even make eye contact when you're walking past the street. They certainly don't smile. They don't say good morning. They don't say, hey, nice shoes. You know, it's a good icebreaker, right? So I think I've said enough on that. That's a lot to decompress, I know, but that's it, man. If you think there's a magic thing to get through it, there isn't. I mean, you can sit there and you can meditate for 30 hours a day and release the desire or the need for the approval of women, or because we all need approval. To say that we don't need approval is crazy. The problem comes in where you want to affect yourself to gain the approval. In other words, you want to be different than you are to gain the approval. That you have to limit your boundaries to gain the approval. That you have to diminish yourself or act a certain way or be a certain thing in order to gain the approval. Now, that's impossible. You're not going to get rid of any approval, all the approval seeking, because it's just, we're social creatures. And you want people to like you. I mean, it's like, yeah, nobody likes me, but I don't give a fuck because I've released my fear of approval. It's like, that's great. Yeah, that's that's real nice, right? Where you don't have any friends or anything. So you're gonna have some approval. The problem is an inordinate amount of the need of approval. And unless you get that baseline, you're not gonna know where you're at. And if you don't know where you're at, you don't know how to grow. Because what you don't measure, you can't remedy. And that's an old industrial engineering saying. And you just gotta put the work in, man. And you gotta do a lot of the meditation. You gotta calm your nervous system down. A lot of it is your nervous system cannot handle the new stresses. You gotta calm it down. You gotta exercise it and strengthen it through meditation and qigong. That goes a long ways. And then, of course, getting rid of the mental masturbation, negative self-talk habits that you have. And just remember, your relationship with yourself, quite literally, is a relationship you have with the feminine.